Teresa Ramos stared at her phone, the doctor's words echoing in her mind. Your kidney function is declining. At 64, she felt great. She walked daily, cooked healthy meals, lived actively in Sacramento with family all around. No diabetes, no high blood pressure, no family history of kidney disease. This wasn't supposed to happen to her. But 3 foods sitting in her refrigerator and pantry were silently destroying her kidneys. Food she ate every single day, food she thought were healthy choices. What Teresa discovered in a basement support group meeting didn't just save her kidneys. It sparked a revolution in her entire community. And it started with removing 3 things most seniors eat without a second thought. Before I reveal the 3 foods Teresa eliminated that transformed her kidney function, I need to ask you something critical. Are you over 60 and eating foods you think are healthy, but might actually be destroying your kidneys right now? Comment checking if you're worried about this, because thousands of seniors are unknowingly doing the same thing Teresa was. Hit that like button if you've ever trusted a food label that lied to you about what's really inside, because what this Sacramento grandmother removed from her kitchen in one afternoon changed everything. That sandwich you're planning for lunch? It might be the problem. Teresa Ramos loved her life at 64. Every morning, she walked 3 miles through her Sacramento neighborhood, waving to familiar faces, stopping to admire roses blooming in spring. Her children lived nearby with her grandchildren, and family gatherings filled her calendar. She prided herself on cooking, always had. Her kitchen smelled like garlic, tomatoes, and fresh bread on Sunday afternoons. She felt healthy, energetic, alive, which is why the phone call from Dr. Chen's office felt like a wrong number. Teresa, we need to discuss your lab results from your physical. The nurse said, can you come in this week? Teresa's annual checkup had been routine. She'd expected the usual. Blood pressure good, cholesterol fine. Keep up the walking. She certainly didn't expect Dr. Chen's concerned expression when she sat across from him 3 days later. Your kidney function has declined, he said carefully, sliding lab results across a desk. Your GFR, your glomerular filtration rate, is lower than it should be, and your creatinine is elevated. Teresa stared at numbers that meant nothing to her. What does that mean? It means your kidneys aren't filtering waste as efficiently as they should. We're going to monitor this closely. But Teresa struggled to process this. I don't have diabetes. My blood pressure is fine. No one in my family has kidney disease. I eat healthy. I walk every day. How is this possible? Dr. Chen leaned forward. Teresa, tell me about your typical diet. What does a normal day look like for meals? Teresa described her routine with confidence. Breakfast, oatmeal with fruit. Lunch, a turkey sandwich on whole wheat. Snacks, crackers, maybe some cheese. Dinner, often a quick canned soup with salad, or pasta with sauce from a jar. She drank water, though she admitted to 1 cola daily. Just a small treat. Dr. Chen nodded slowly. Let's talk about processed foods. How much of what you eat comes from packages, cans, or deli counters? Teresa paused when she really thought about it. Most of it. The turkey was sliced deli meat. The soup came from cans. The crackers, the cheese, the sauce, all packaged. She'd chosen these things because they were convenient, and she thought turkey was healthy. Soup was wholesome. Crackers were just crackers. Teresa, Dr. Chen said gently, those convenient choices are loaded with sodium and phosphorus. Your kidneys are struggling to filter the excess. We need to make some changes. That conversation changed everything. Teresa left the office with pamphlets about kidney disease and a referral to a nutritionist. But more than that, she left with fear settling in her chest like a stone. Her kidneys were failing, and she'd done it to herself without even knowing. Teresa spent the next week researching online until her eyes burned. Medical terminology swam through her head: nephrons, filtration rates, stages of kidney disease. The information overwhelmed her. Worse, she felt isolated. None of her friends talked about kidney problems. Was she the only one? Then she saw a poster at her community center. Kidney Health Support Group. Seniors welcome, Thursdays at 6 p.m. The following Thursday, Teresa walked nervously into a basement room where folding chairs formed a circle. 12 people, all around her age or older, sat with coffee and genuine smiles. A facilitator named Linda welcomed her warmly. "You're not alone," Linda said, "and you're not too late. That's what we learn here." That night, Teresa met Frank and Maria, two people whose stories would change her life. Frank, 68 with kind eyes and weather hands, spoke first. "I'll be honest with you all. I love my deli meat. Every lunch was a sandwich. Turkey, ham, roast beef, didn't matter. I'd grab those pre-packaged slices because they were easy. Add some chips, maybe a pickle from a jar. Quick lunch, right?" He paused, shaking his head. "I never looked at the sodium content. Never thought about it. One serving of deli meat, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium. I was eating 2 or 3 servings per sandwich. Then there were the canned soups, 800 to 1,200 milligrams per serving, sometimes more. And I love my cola. Had one every afternoon." Frank's voice grew quieter. "My kidneys were drowning in sodium and phosphorus. The phosphoric acid in dark sodas? It was destroying my kidney function and leaching calcium from my bones at the same time. I was 65 when my doctor told me I was heading toward dialysis if I didn't change everything." Teresa leaned forward, recognizing her own habits in Frank's confession. "I eliminated 3 things," Frank continued. "All processed meats, all high-sodium canned goods, all dark sodas. Within 4 months, my lab results improved. The swelling in my ankles disappeared. I had energy again. My doctor couldn't believe it." Then Maria spoke. She was a retired nurse, 71, with silver hair pulled back neatly. "You'd think I would have known better," she began. "I spent 40 years in healthcare, but I relied on convenience foods just like everyone else. After long shifts, who wants a cook? I'd heat up a can of soup, grab some crackers, call it dinner." Maria smiled sadly. "Even medical professionals don't always connect the dots in our own lives. I knew kidney disease existed, but I didn't realize I was creating conditions for it with every meal. Processed meats for breakfast, canned vegetables with added salt for dinner, the occasional soda. All of it adding up day after day, year after year." She looked directly at Teresa. "When I finally eliminated those 3 categories of food and switched to fresh, home-cooked meals, my body responded within weeks. Less bloating, more energy, better sleep. My 6-month lab work showed improvement my nephrologist called remarkable. The support group shared recipes after the meeting. They exchanged phone numbers. They created accountability partnerships. And Teresa realized something profound. She wasn't alone, and more importantly, she wasn't powerless. The 3 main culprits had been identified: processed meats, high-sodium canned goods, dark sodas. 3 categories of food destroying kidneys across the country, hiding in plain sight in refrigerators and pantries, marketed as convenient, normal, even healthy. Now here's what most people don't realize about these 3 foods, and this is absolutely critical. Sodium forces your kidneys to work overtime, and when they're already damaged, that extra work accelerates decline. Phosphorus builds up in your blood when kidneys can't filter it, leading to serious complications. If you're checking your pantry right now, or planning to after this video, hit that subscribe button so you remember exactly what to look for on those labels. We're sharing real health transformations every week. Stories that prove food is either medicine or poison. Want to know exactly what Teresa replaced these foods with and how her body responded week by week? Keep watching, because the timeline will surprise you. Teresa went home that night and started reading every label in her kitchen. What she discovered horrified her. The turkey she'd been eating daily? Each serving contained 600 milligrams of sodium from preservatives, nitrates and nitrites that extended shelf life but shortened kidney life. A single sandwich with 3 ounces of deli meat delivered nearly 1,000 milligrams of sodium, almost half the daily limit for someone with healthy kidneys. For damaged kidneys, it was an assault. The sodium forced her kidneys to filter excess salt from her blood. Healthy kidneys handle this efficiently. Damaged kidneys struggle, leading to fluid retention, bloating, increased blood pressure, and further kidney damage. It becomes a vicious cycle. And it wasn't just deli turkey. Bacon for breakfast, 800 milligrams per 3 slices. Sausage, 600 milligrams per link. Hot dogs, pepperoni, salami, all loaded with sodium for preservation and flavor. Even the low-sodium versions contained more salt than kidneys in decline could handle safely. Teresa had been eating processed meat nearly every day for years. The vegetable soup she considered a healthy dinner choice. One can contain 1,800 milligrams of sodium, more than an entire day's recommended limit. The heart-healthy chicken noodle soup wasn't much better at 1,400 milligrams. Even canned vegetables came with added salt. Green beans, corn, tomatoes, foods that should be kidney-friendly became sodium bombs when canned with salt added. A serving of canned green beans had 300 milligrams of sodium. Fresh or frozen green beans, nearly zero. The convenience came with a hidden cost. Opening can felt easy, but every can open was another burden on struggling kidneys. The bloating Teresa had attributed to age. It was fluid retention from excessive sodium. Her kidneys couldn't clear efficiently. Pre-made sauces, canned beans, jarred gravies, all contributed to the cumulative load. Teresa's quick and easy dinners were systematically overwhelming her kidney function. Teresa's daily cola seemed harmless, just one small pleasure. Afternoon pick-me-up. But dark sodas contain phosphoric acid for color and flavor. This acid adds phosphorus to the blood, and damaged kidneys struggle to filter phosphorus effectively. When phosphorus builds up, it leaches calcium from bones, weakening the skeleton while simultaneously harming kidneys further. Studies have linked regular dark soda consumption to accelerated kidney function decline. Even in people with initially healthy kidneys, the phosphorus in one daily cola might not seem significant, but combined with phosphorus from processed meats, cheese, and packaged foods, it created a phosphorus overload. Teresa's kidneys were drowning in it, unable to keep her blood chemistry balanced. Even diet versions contained the same phosphoric acid. The lack of sugar didn't make them safer for kidneys. The cumulative effect was the real danger. Not just one food category, but a combination. Processed meat for lunch, canned soup for dinner, cola in the afternoon. Day after day, year after year, her kidneys worked overtime until they simply couldn't keep up anymore. The decline became measurable in lab results, and Dr. Chen caught it before irreversible damage occurred. Teresa was lucky. Many aren't diagnosed until it's too late. Teresa committed a change that very weekend. She returned to the support group the following Thursday with a notebook full of questions. Frank and Maria became her mentors. Linda provided resources. The group became her lifeline. Sunday became kitchen clean-out day. Teresa went through every cabinet, every shelf in her refrigerator. If it came in a can with added salt, it went. If it was processed meat from the deli counter, it went. If it was a dark soda, it went. By the time she finished, 3 garbage bags sat by her curb. Then came replacements, real food that would nourish instead of harm. Out went the deli turkey, the bacon, the packaged lunch meat. In came fresh chicken breasts and turkey breasts that Teresa learned to grill every Sunday evening. She'd season them with herbs, rosemary, thyme, garlic powder, black pepper, and cook enough for the week. When she wanted a sandwich, she sliced the grilled chicken thin, added lettuce, tomato, and mustard. No preservatives, no excessive sodium, just real food. The flavor shocked her. Real chicken, properly seasoned, tasted infinitely better than salty deli meat ever had. She'd been eating inferior food and calling it convenient. The canned soups were replaced with homemade versions that Teresa batch cooked on Sundays. She'd make a big pot of vegetable soup with fresh ingredients, low-sodium broth, and herbs for flavor. Portion it into containers. Freeze what she wouldn't eat within days. Canned vegetables became fresh or frozen alternatives, with no salt added. She discovered that frozen vegetables were actually fresher than many fresh options that had traveled hundreds of miles and sat in store for days. And they cost less than canned versions. Learning to season without salt became an adventure. Garlic transformed everything. Lemon juice brightened flavors. Herbs added complexity. Black pepper provided heat. Within weeks, her taste buds adjusted, and salty food started tasting unpleasant. Too harsh, one-dimensional. The afternoon cola was the hardest habit to break. Teresa craved the fizz, the sweetness, the caffeine boost. For the first week, she suffered headaches from caffeine withdrawal. She felt irritable and tired, but she persisted. She started making infused water. Cucumber slices with lemon, strawberries with mint, orange with basil. The subtle flavors satisfied her need for something interesting to drink. She tried herbal teas, both hot and iced. She discovered sparkling water with a splash of fresh fruit juice, gave it a fizz without the phosphorus. By week 3, she didn't crave cola anymore. When she smelled it on someone else, it smelled sickly sweet and artificial. Her taste had changed. The support group recommended specific foods that actively supported kidney health. Teresa added them deliberately. Red bell peppers, low in potassium but packed with vitamins, perfect for kidney diets. She roasted them, added them to salads, stuffed them with quinoa, cauliflower, incredibly versatile and kidney-friendly. She made cauliflower rice, mashed cauliflower, roasted cauliflower with herbs. Apples, high in fiber and anti-inflammatory compounds. One daily as a snack. Cabbage, rich in vitamin K and low in potassium. She made slaws, sautéed it with garlic, even tried fermenting sauerkraut. Blueberries, antioxidant powerhouses, added to morning oatmeal. The transformation timeline unfolded predictably but powerfully. The first 2 weeks were hard. Teresa's body protested the loss of salt, sugar, and caffeine. Her food tasted bland until her taste buds adapted. She felt tired from caffeine withdrawal. She wanted to quit. But by week 3, everything shifted. The constant puffiness in her face and ankles began subsiding. Her clothes fit better. She had more energy, sleeping through night without waking to urinate repeatedly. Her thinking felt clearer, less foggy. By month 2, the swelling had completely disappeared. She felt lighter, more energetic. Her walks became easier, longer. Friends commented that she looked different, brighter, healthier, younger somehow. Month 3 brought the lab work Teresa had been dreading and anticipating. She sat in Dr. Chen's office with her hands clenched in her lap, waiting for results. Dr. Chen walked in smiling. Your GFR has improved. Your creatinine is down. Teresa, whatever you're doing, it's working. The relief hit her like a wave. Her eyes filled with tears. It was working. Her body was healing. By month 6, the improvement had continued. Her kidney function wasn't perfect. Damage takes time to repair. But the decline had stopped and reversed direction. Her blood pressure had normalized without medication. Her energy felt sustainable instead of fleeting. Teresa had removed 3 categories of food and added real nutrition. Her kidneys responded exactly as Frank and Maria had promised they would. The 6-month lab results became a turning point not just for Teresa, but for everyone around her. When Dr. Chin reviewed her progress, his surprise was genuine. In 30 years of practice, I've seen very few patients reverse decline significantly through diet alone, he admitted. You've given your kidneys what they needed most, a break from the workload. Teresa felt more than physical improvement. She felt empowered. For the first time since that terrifying phone call, she had control over her health destiny. She wasn't a victim of inevitable decline. She was an active participant in her own healing. Her family noticed immediately. Her daughter commented on how much more energetic she seemed at family gatherings. Her grandchildren said she played with them longer without getting tired. Her husband, Jim, remarked that she seemed happier, lighter somehow. Teresa started bringing her new recipes to family dinners. She taught her grandchildren to read nutrition labels, showing them how to spot hidden sodium and phosphorus additives. Learn this now, she told them, so you don't have to unlearn bad habits later. At the support group, Teresa transitioned from student to mentor. When new members arrived scared and overwhelmed, just as she'd been 6 months earlier, she shared her story. She brought extra copies of her favorite kidney-friendly recipes. She exchanged phone numbers and checked in on struggling members between meetings. The ripple effect spread beyond the support group. Teresa gave a presentation at her local senior center about kidney health and processed foods. 35 people attended. She spoke at her church group. Friends called asking for advice. The message spread organically through her community. Those convenient foods aren't convenient if they destroy your health. The bigger realization crystallized for Teresa during one support group meeting. Someone asked why doctors don't emphasize this information more strongly. Why aren't seniors warned about processed foods when they're healthy, before damage occurs? Maria, the retired nurse, answered thoughtfully, because we built an entire food system around convenience and profit. Processed foods have long shelf lives and high profit margins. Fresh food spoils and costs more to transport and store. The economics favor processing. And after 60, when kidney function naturally begins declining, every meal becomes critical. We're the most vulnerable population, and we're the primary market for these convenient foods. Teresa understood then that her transformation was about more than personal health. It was about reclaiming agency in a system designed to prioritize convenience over well-being. Every senior deserved this information before damage occurred, not after. If someone you love is over 60 and still eating deli meat sandwiches, heating up canned soups, or drinking dark sodas daily, share this video with them right now. These 3 foods might be silently harming them at this very moment, and most seniors have absolutely no idea their healthy lunches are destroying their kidney function. Comment below which of these 3 surprise you most: processed meats, canned soups, or dark sodas. Your answer might help someone else realize what's sitting in their kitchen right now. Today, Teresa Ramos is 66 years old. 2 years have passed since that phone call from Dr. Chen's office that changed everything. Her kidney function has stabilized. Her annual monitoring continues, and she maintains her dietary changes as a permanent lifestyle, not a temporary fix. But she wants everyone to understand important nuances. Not all kidney disease has the same cause. Some stems from diabetes, others from high blood pressure, genetic conditions, or autoimmune diseases. The dietary changes that help Teresa might not be sufficient for everyone. Individual situations require individualized approaches. Teresa still works closely with Dr. Chen and sees a nephrologist for regular monitoring. She takes some medications and will likely need them long-term. The dietary changes complemented her medical care. They didn't replace it. This is critical to understand. Food is powerful medicine, but it works alongside professional health care, not instead of it. Reading labels became Teresa's superpower. She checks sodium content on everything, knowing that low sodium can still mean 400 milligrams per serving, too much when you're eating multiple servings daily. She looks for phosphorus additives hidden in ingredient lists. She understands serving sizes and calculates her daily totals. Fresh and frozen foods became her staples. When she does buy packaged foods, she chooses versions with minimal ingredients and no added salt. She's learned that real food doesn't need 20 ingredient lists. The first month was genuinely difficult. Her taste buds had been conditioned by years of high sodium and sugar. Everything tasted bland initially. Social situations felt challenging when friends served food she couldn't eat. Meal preparation required more time and planning than opening cans and packages. But taste buds adapt within weeks. What once tasted bland becomes flavorful. What once tasted normal becomes overwhelmingly salty. The adjustment period passes, and the new normal becomes preferable to the old one. Teresa understands now why this information isn't mainstream. The processed food industry represents billions in revenue. Convenience is marketed as necessity. Seniors are specifically targeted with easy meal solutions, frozen dinners, canned soups, deli counter lunch meats, all designed for quick preparation and long shelf life. The hidden cost is measured in declining health, and that cost doesn't appear on the price tag. 2 years ago, Teresa Ramos received a phone call that terrified her. Her kidneys were failing, and she didn't understand why. She'd been eating what she thought were healthy, convenient foods: turkey sandwiches, vegetable soup, the occasional cola. How could those choices be destroying her health? But 3 foods sitting in her kitchen were doing exactly that. Processed meats loaded with sodium preservatives. Canned goods hiding dangerous salt levels. dark sodas filled with phosphoric acid. Simple, everyday foods available in every grocery store, marketed as normal, convenient, even wholesome. Teresa removed all three. She replaced them with fresh chicken, homemade soups, and infused water. She added red bell peppers, cauliflower, and apples. She learned that after 60, every single meal is either medicine or poison. There's no neutral ground. The body either receives nourishment or assault with each bite. Her kidneys responded. The decline stopped. Function improved. Energy returned. Her doctor called it remarkable. Teresa calls it making informed choices with real food. Your kidney health depends on what you remove, not just what you add. Those three categories of food are probably sitting in your kitchen right now. If Teresa's story opened your eyes to the hidden danger in your pantry, it'll open someone else's too. Like this video so more people can find this information. Subscribe for more real-life health transformations that prove food is the most powerful medicine we have. And tell us in the comments, are you checking your pantry after watching this? What are you removing first? Always consult your healthcare provider before making major dietary changes, especially if you have existing kidney disease or other health conditions. But remember what Teresa learned through her journey. Declining kidney function isn't always inevitable. Sometimes it's reversible. Sometimes the solution is as simple and as challenging as removing 3 categories of food and replacing them with real nutrition. Teresa thought her kidney decline was just part aging. Instead, she discovered 3 foods were quietly destroying her health. Removing them was the solution. What will you discover when you read the labels in your own kitchen?